This video will go into the use of the OneNote notebook. In this first section we will create a new OneNote notebook in OneDrive since we have completed the OneDrive setup successfully. So if I open OneNote, I want to create a new OneNote. Now in this case my OneDrive account has shown that it's connected. I have the sites and the OneDrive just like I connected previously in the video in Word. So if I open up the OneNote notebooks, I will see that this file path is showing me towards the OneDrive documents and the OneDrive notebooks. If I go back in here, 2018, I'm going to create a new folder called OneNote Files. All my OneNotes I will create in here for 2018. So open that folder, and this is going to be first term OneNotebook. Then I hit create. It's asking me if I wish to invite people or share it with. I'm going to select not now. Sharing will be shown later. I'll just set up some data here, so we've got a few sections and something in the OneNote book. Okay, so I have created my OneNote. Now, if I go back into Documents, 2018, I would notice that the folder does not appear yet. Now, if I go to OneDrive, right click and select View Online, it takes me into the cloud view where I have created all my OneNote files. See, the folder exists as of 2 minutes ago, okay, but it still has not created anything in my 2018 folder. Just be patient and I'll show you what happens in a moment. So I click here and I see my first term OneNote book. If I select File and see the first term OneNote book that I've created, this is the link. So it does exist in the cloud. I can go to Properties and can confirm that this is where my OneNote has been created successfully on OneDrive. Now, after about a few minutes, I'm going to just pause the video and show you what happens because we still don't see it synchronized back to here. Now I have resumed the video. As we saw previously, if I view online, let's just do that again and go into Documents, 2018, OneNote Files. You see that 6 minutes ago it created it in the cloud correctly, but we did not see it synchronized into our local OneDrive folder here. So let's just open it now, Documents, 2018, and we see that the folder now exists. OneNote Files, OneNote Files. Now we also see the name of the notebook, first term OneNotebook, has been synchronized. Now, one very important difference is that this is where the file resides, in the OneDrive in the cloud. The file is not being synchronized here. It is in fact an internet shortcut. If I click on the properties here, it actually shows me a URL pointing to my SharePoint, which is this location here. Now it does that for convenience because OneNote deals with all its file synchronization itself. It does not synchronize through OneDrive. Let me say that again so it's clear. OneNote files have their own synchronization. If I wish to view the synchronization status, I go to File and Info and view the synchronization status. I can select here to sync manually, or sync automatically whenever there are changes. Sync automatically whenever there are changes is set by default. As we can see now, our first term OneNote book is being transferred. Don't worry about this error. This was from a previous OneNote file that we're not dealing with. I can select Synced All, and it will show me that my sync status for my first term OneNote book is fine. If you see a red X here, that means there is an error, and you may have to go to ICT support for help. You also see that the green circle is there, okay, and there is no red cross indicating that it has not synchronized correctly. If I close that, I can then see in my documents 2018 OneNote files. I can access my OneNote book from this internet shortcut. Which takes me to the OneNote online. And I see that everything is synchronized here. If we make a change to my file, and then go back and open, that change is now synchronized and appeared. You may have seen the green circle that flashed up quickly to synchronize the changes. We check our synchronized status. Automatically synchronizing. Click close. Open up again. And the changes are now synchronized. So that's how to create a new OneNote book. Next thing I'm going to show you is how to move a OneNote file from your C drive or your desktop to OneDrive. Now this distinction is here rather than from your H drive, which will be the next section. So if you have a OneNote file on your C drive or your desktop, this will show you how to do it. If I open OneNote again, you'll see that I have an old OneNote here on my C drive. Okay, in this case, it is this one here, which is on my desktop or my C drive. If I browse to my desktop, this is what's going to be transferred. Okay, so I go back to File, making sure I've got the correct file here. I select Settings and Share or Move. Okay, we then select our OneDrive Genesis Christian College, and we can see that our OneNote Files folder that we created before is there. Now we have to then provide a new name, so we're moving from old to new, and then we simply click on Move. OneNote will sync your changes, and if we go back to Info, we should see New now exists, Old has gone, and the new OneDrive link. Consequently, we go back here into our OneNote files. We cannot see New yet, but that will synchronize in an internet shortcut as it did previously with first term OneNote book. If we wish to confirm it, we right click on here and select View Online. Go to our Documents, 2018 OneNote Files, and New. There it is, about a minute ago. So that's how to move a OneNote file from your desktop or your C drive into OneDrive. Now the reason you cannot drag is a little confusing, but basically the OneNote has tentacles and backup files and saving points that need to be correctly managed. And if you drag the OneNote into here, it will break those tentacles and you'll have syncing issues. So the only way to move files is through the move and sync time. There is another way that you can move them, and that is by selecting one page at a time. You can copy a whole page, but you have to have a new OneNote file set up on OneDrive previously, so you can copy the page into another OneNote file. So that concludes this section. In this section of the video, I'm going to show you how to move a OneNote file from your H drive or your network to OneDrive. Now this is a little bit more complicated because, as we see, if I've got a document here on OneNote Documents, okay, which is here in the File Explorer. But if I go down and select Settings and Share and Move, it doesn't give me the options at all to move it. So if I click on Copy this notebook here to OneDrive, it actually gives me one first method, which is basically moving your notes one section or one page at a time. So basically you create a new OneNote file as the first step I showed you in this video earlier on OneDrive, and then open both the two OneDrives side by side and right click and move or copy. Okay, so we copy the entire section and then open the new one and paste it there. So that is one way to do it, and that works if your OneNote file is very small. Now the other way to do it is a little bit more technical, and I would only suggest this if you understand exactly what I'm saying. So because there's a two-step method to it, and if you're likely to get confused, I would not suggest doing this, but I'll run through it now for you anyway. So basically what we want to do is we go to our H drive and go to Settings, and this time we're going to select Properties. Okay, and we've got our display name OneNote document, alright, and it's in our H drive. So I'm going to select Change Location. Okay, now I am going to, on the desktop, I'm going to create a new folder, and let's call this OneNote Move. Okay, so that's my folder name, and select that. Alright, so that basically moves that to my C drive. So if I go back in here and find it, where is it? OneNote Move, OneNote Document. So OneNote Document, here it is here. I can see it there. So we can view that, and we can see this is the OneNote document here. Okay, so that's the first step. If we have basically copied it from our H drive to the folder I created, OneNote Move, on the desktop. Alright, so I'm going to close OneNote and open it again. Okay, that's a very important step. Okay, now the next step is we go OneNote document. We then go Share and Move. Okay, now basically we've got the same process that we had before. Okay, so we want to transfer it to 2018. We have the cloud connection here. Okay, so the notebook name, now this is old H drive now, and I select Move. Okay, and that's now syncing, and the share notebook has changed its name to old H drive, and we can see that there. Okay, so if we go down here, we see old H drive, and it has moved successfully. So that's the two-step method of moving. So you're moving basically to the desktop or to the C drive, and then moving to the cloud. Once again, if we right click on OneDrive and go view online, go documents, 2018 OneNote files, we see our old H drive there. And once again, it will take most probably a little while before we see the old H drive internet shortcut being created. Now the last thing to do, remember we created this OneNote Move folder on our desktop. It is best to simply delete that. So let's just drag that into the recycle bin. So that avoids having multiple copies of our OneNote file. And that completes the OneNote usage video. Thanks for watching.